people of the internet. Welcome back to a very lovely, special edition of the Hit Play Podcast. We are your hosts, the Hit Players. You all right?
Every time you do the intro, I feel like there's something I'm supposed to know that I don't know.
Just throw you a curveball in the intro. But no, we are back. Welcome back. Hope you guys are staying warm or staying dry. So
Yeah.
we just had a monsoon this whole
We've
week.
had a lot of rain.
So,
Oh, yeah.
which is very good. But we're back because we're going to talk about the Oscars, which have just released their nominations. And boy, do people have things to say about it online. And we decided, let's do it.
Let's
also
add to that.
have our opinion stated. So obviously we will get to the big one in a minute. But before we get there, James, is there any other surprises, whether people that were nominated or not nominated? Again, we'll save the big one for later.
Mm-hmm.
But was there anything that caught you off guard with this nomination?
For any specific category.
Anything at all?
Any specific
Anything at all.
category. Yes. I am excited that Godzilla -1, last minute entry at the end of the year,
Yeah.
got its best visual effects nomination, since that was a part of the film that a lot of people were praising online. The quality of visual effects relative to its budget, what they managed to pull off. I can't imagine how stressful and how much effort went into that.
How many laws were probably American labor laws were violated?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that recognition. Although we've also have had a repeat. I mean, Life of Pi had the exact same situation where it bankrupted the visual effects company.
Yeah.
And all they got was a cool little Oscar out of it. So at the end of the day, recognition for an award only really means, hey, you did a lot of good effort in your film, but financially probably doesn't really mean that much behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, if you haven't seen it, there's a neat little video of all the animators celebrating when they get nominated. So I thought that was cute. Outside of that, though, I don't mean to jump into one specific category right away. So I'm not going to do that entirely. But I do think that Pixar is probably sweating bullets right now with Best Animated Film.
Their streak is over.
Going up against not only Marvel, but Hayao Miyazaki, the only other person who has taken away their throne.
The king has fallen.
Yeah.
The king has fallen.
They did it with Elemental, which I've seen some of. It's okay. Not.
I mean, at this point, it's like legacy nods.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, when a lot of the voters are on record saying, I just nominate whatever my kids like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, that's the problem with the animated
They still
category
treat
is
it like
nobody
it's
really takes it seriously.
I do like seeing Nimona get a nomination for Best Animated Film. It's a Netflix movie, and it's a good comic as well, which I highly recommend. But outside of that, I mean, the other biggest surprise was just the Best Director.
The main one.
Yeah.
You just want to go, you just want to
Best
jump into it?
If you want to. I mean, we'll go right ahead. Do you have thoughts and feelings? Any surprises?
I mean, that's the biggest one to me.
Yeah.
I think when you have a movie that, regardless of our opinion on the movie,
The fact that we have
which
said it's our worst.
which are very well founded,
Yes.
I think it is a bit. I don't know, man. If you're trying to celebrate the top movies of the year, and the literal highest grossing, highest talked about, highest divisive movie of the year is, and the person who was at the helm of this is not nominated in a category. It's interesting decision, but in the Academy's defense, there are only 5 director nods and there are 5 Best Pictures. I mean, we had the same discussion when Denis Villeneuve wasn't nominated, but Dune was in every single category. We had the same exact discussion. It's just now I think it's more polarizing because, it is Barbie and it is a $1 billion movie.
So, not to make a counter argument against, in favor of why she shouldn't be nominated, but I can definitely imagine the argument that a lot of the issues with Barbie structurally stem from her doing her job as a director.
Yeah.
Particularly a lot of the issues we have with script or acting in it, although actors are still, at least Ken is nominated, and it is still nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense why they would recognize the producers with a Best Picture nomination,
But not
because
the actual-
financially,
Yeah.
it was a very successful film. But given that we have criticized
Yeah.
her directing, it is understandable that most likely there were other people within the Academy who most likely felt similarly. That being said, seeing the list of other Best Director nominations, I mean, not that I've seen all those films, but there are only 3 that really make sense to me off the top of my head. So
I mean, even just going off Best Picture, like,
yeah.
I knew none of these movies. The only thing I remember, the only thing I know is Poor Things and Maestro, just because of Poor Things because of Emma Stone and Maestro because of Bradley Cooper, and people were talking about their performances, which they're both nominated for this year as well. But it's like the Academy does it again, where they just throw in a bunch of movies that nobody wants to, nobody watches, and it's like, it's just weird.
I don't. Well, I'm going to say this without having seen these films, but from what I have been able to ascertain online through online discussion, movies like Maestro, The Holdovers, there's another one, Nyada, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's about swimming. It's a Jodie Foster film. American Fiction as well, in my opinion. It's Oscar bait is all it is.
Yeah.
We always have those every year anyway. It's just when you also have films like Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon, you feel like there's a bit of a gap.
That are movies that are good and also year defining and like decade defining movies.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. It's the Oscars doing the Oscars again, where it's just, let's just throw in some movies that
I mean,
we want to say are good because like 5 people watched it, but it's like at some point this, like, I think, and we've always had, me and you have had this discussion many, many times, where it's, what are we doing with the Oscars? Are we defining a year in movies? If not, let's pick like movies people watch. Or if we're going full art house film festival, then let's stop nominating movies like Black Panther and Barbie. Like, let's nominate the actual indie movies. Like, and again, they just seem to straddle the fence and don't want to pick a direction.
and that's not to say that movies like Poor Things or Zone of Interest, don't deserve to get nominated or don't come from directors who I would probably personally also put alongside people like Nolan or, Denis Villeneuve, who we've been talking about, in terms of their influence or their, abilities as directors or writers. It's just that, at a certain extent, I feel like it's like how in the past when there would always be the best actress or best actor category without a person of color in it, and there would always be a huge firestorm on the internet. At a certain point, you have to see it coming.
Yeah.
You can't, they don't put their foot down often enough to say, no, this is our policy and we're going to stick to it. They have to either do that or just give the people what they want. They had to have known that not nominating either Greta Gerwig or Margot Robbie was going to be an issue. But they did it anyway. So.
It was going to be a problem anyways. I mean, it's the same thing when Black Panther was nominated. People were like, this isn't even the best Marvel movie.
Yeah.
This isn't even the best Marvel movie that came out this year. Yeah. It was just nominated because, of its representation of people of color. And unfortunately, some people decided to use it as a sticking point against the Oscars.
And then the Oscars responded by making a Chadwick Boseman NFT
based. But yeah, I don't know, man. Especially in a movie year like this where there's so many good movies. I just really felt like we could have done something. We could have gone a little more like, this is 2023. And instead we kind of got like, all right, here are the 2 movies of 2023, and then there's
That's why
wide
to me
chasm.
it's so
Or
weird.
3 movies, I guess.
Why they made Barbie a best adapted screenplay based off of the toy,
Yeah.
just so it could compete with Oppenheimer in that category.
Mm-hmm.
The directors are right there.
Both of them can have their moment. Just have just have each of them in a separate category.
If Nolan wins Best Director and Barbie wins Best Picture, I will never watch the Oscars again.
If they split vote,
Yeah.
that'd be crazy. Yeah, it's kind of like what they did with Moonlight and La La Land.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
I think I would actually lose respect for them entirely.
That would be
if
funny.
That was the case.
I don't know what would happen.
Because Barbie's not winning Best Picture, in my opinion.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
But we've seen crazier things.
We've seen crazier things. But it shouldn't, in my opinion.
Well, if we're going off Golden Globes, it won't.
Which I don't do, personally. What won the Golden Globes? What won that?
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, let's lead into that.
You want to start from
Oppenheimer.
the top?
13 nominations. How many of us is it taking home? All of the big 5: production design, editing, score, screen. I said the big 5.
Actor.
Costume. That's part of the big 5, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think... Let me take a look at editing real quick.
It is editing.
Because I think that...
Cinematography, editing, makeup and hairstyle, costume design, original score. No original song.
Was there an original song?
Yeah, the main song.
Well, that's
It's literally like the biggest motif in the whole movie.
having a soundtrack is different from having an original song.
No, I know. I'm just playing around.
I can see best editing.
And visual. No visual effects. Sorry.
I can see best editing. I think best adapted screenplay. Yeah, I mean that or Killers of the Flower Moon, most likely.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Let's see.
And I think.
Flower Moon is not nominated.
Oh, it's not.
No.
Then that will go to Oppenheimer. I think.
We're going off Golden Globe. So the record's 11. Is what I'm really trying to get at.
Okay. You think it's gonna pull like
Ben-Hur, Titanic, and Return of the King all had 11.
I don't think it's gonna do that.
You don't think it's gonna do 11? I would be very impressed if it did 11. I think it's gonna do like 8.
Yeah, I don't think
7.
it's even gonna do 8. I was
7.
thinking like maybe 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Editing for sure. Adapted screenplay, and then most likely actor or Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh's not nominated.
She's not nominated?
No.
Man, so I am like reacting to this whole list blind. And showing up my head.
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. Okay, then yeah, I think Emily Blunt could win that too. I think.
No American Ferrera for her I Am
Passion
14 and This
speech.
Is Deep
Yeah.
speech.
I mean, given the amount of marketing for Barbie that focused on Ken and the amount of time in the film that was focused on Ken, I'm surprised they didn't give Margot Robbie a supporting actress nomination instead.
Yeah.
No, that would have caused a riot. But if we're starting from the top, we're going to start from Best Picture. In my opinion, I think Killers of the Flower Moon would be the one to sweep all the big
Really?
picture, director.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't know, the reason why I think Oppenheimer would probably go with adapted screenplay over Killers of the Flower Moon is just because, I mean, it ties into why I also think it would win Best Editing, is because just classic Christopher Nolanism, and the fact that the script is written like
In
to
first
match,
person?
the actual perspective of the black and white scenes
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's just a unique little thing.
It's cool.
Would add to it, yeah. Even though I do think that Killers of the Flower Moon adapted this, like, they're both great movies. But I think all of the fancy little stuff Nolan did with the script would edge it out a little bit more, in my opinion. But I think Killers of the Flower Moon and Martin Scorsese have picture and director.
They're gonna do his farewell.
Yeah,
Even though he's
maybe.
got like 4 more movies in him. The
This is not a farewell. This is you need to stop now.
my guy. he is the most nominated living director with 10 after this movie.
Nice.
I think the record is 13, 12.
He should work with Roger Deakins so that way they can both
Just farm him out. Just do like a late Spielberg career renaissance where
one
just
after
like
the
just
other.
keep him coming out with movies every year. No, please don't do that.
What about you? Best picture.
I think it's Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Of course.
I think it's gonna be Oppenheimer.
Now, are you saying that because you like it a lot, or because you genuinely think that the Academy would like it a lot?
Both.
Yeah.
I also think it matters because like I said, the movie that people went to go see, it should be. I try to say that. I try to say that bias aside, but like not a lot of people went to go watch Killers of the Flower Moon, which is sad because it's a very very good
It was a
movie
very
and
good
it's an
movie.
S tier movie and we both love it. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's getting that same push that I think Oppenheimer is and has been getting since it came out. Where
You see,
people
for
are
me-
talking about it all the time.
It's
At
not
least
about
online.
the push. It's just the story itself. Because, so I mean,
But the push matters because think about everything everywhere all at once last year, or even Parasite in 2019, where it was like people were talking about this movie for
by
months
that
before the
logic,
awards.
then Barbie should be the one to win.
I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen crazier things.
We have seen crazier things.
We've seen crazier things.
We've seen La La Land almost win.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think because the story of Oppenheimer is one that we all learned in school, whereas the story of Killers of the Flower Moon, both of these being based off of true events, was never like even introduced. I mean, that's a part of American history that's already skipped over in school entirely. So just it's not so much the push the movie got before the Oscars. I'm thinking more of the recognition and what to give the film after the Oscars, because this stuff goes back in theaters or as an extended, theatrical run.
They start giving out Apple Plus
Yeah.
free memberships.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking is that's what their intentions will be if they give it to Killers of the Flower Moon, is to kind of say like, we recognize this part of American history.
Yeah.
Especially because in the past, the Oscars and Hollywood in general has been called out with their treatment of Native American actors, famously by Marlon Brando.
I mean, I could see them definitely being like, Nolan, you're 40 years old or you're 50 years old. Like, you're gonna have a couple more.
Yeah.
True. We might, Martin. We don't know how much longer we got you.
Yeah.
We gotta celebrate you again. So
That's also, I think,
if there's any
playing
year
into
to
it.
do it, I feel like it would be this year because
Mhm.
unfortunately, every time he has been nominated, there's always been that like surefire. Like if he's number 2, there's always been
A number one.
legit number 1 to win every year, except for
Departed.
maybe like Departed won,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, maybe Wolf of Wall Street or something, or Goodfellas. I think Goodfellas is the one that everybody points to because I think it was Waterworld that year. Or Dancing with Wolves, one of those movies. I don't know, one of those weird like 90s movies. But I could see that. Yeah, I could see that happening. I don't know. I'm not upset either way. Be good.
Well, yeah, of course. So then, do you think that he clutches Best Director, Scorsese?
Well, it would be very anti-Academy to do that because I think it's literally, I can count the number of times that's happened where the director has not won Best Picture, like on these 2 hands.
Yeah.
The last time being La La Land and Moonlight. So yeah, I think whoever wins Best Director is going to win Best Picture because it's usually just statistically that's how that goes.
Okay.
So
Maybe that's why they didn't nominate Greta Gerwig.
because they didn't want to
They
shoehorn
didn't wanna-
themselves in.
Yeah, they didn't want to give away their hand too early.
Who do you think had the more impressive direct with the material that they had because they were both adapted from books, and their work in making that into a full legible 3-hour movie? Who do you think had the more impressive directing
So the issue with that question is Zone of Interest and Poor Things were also both based off of books.
Right, but I'm asking this
But
question.
it's
If we
just
think if we think it's a two-headed race between Mario and Chris,
Yeah.
which it may not be,
Mm-hmm.
who knows? But I'm just saying, if we come at it with that, also because of the two movies we saw.
I still think Martin. Scorsese.
Yeah?
In my opinion.
Is it just purely because of the Native American,
No, I think
like,
it's because
how in touch he was with their culture?
and when
the
we
people?
talked about this when we did our review, was that it felt like he kind of not so much switched up his style, but he was a lot more.
Well, he did. He definitely switched up his style.
Switched
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was a more measured, kind of. I don't want to say a tone poem, but just like and it wasn't relaxed either. But it was definitely very, like autumnal and
Somber.
mature, filmmaking. In a way, I want to say. Whereas I think with Nolan, I mean, it's
More of
Nolan,
the same.
yeah, which he
Just
does
to like
better.
the best because
Yeah.
he took out all the bad parts.
Yeah, but I think the Oscars like it when you do something different. You
That's
change
true.
yourself.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Scorsese changed himself a little bit.
That's
so
true.
Maybe.
That's true.
I mean, they could also finally give Yorgos Lanthimos some recognition. That would also be great as well.
He's nominated. That's his recognition.
Well, he's been nominated plenty of times in the past.
All right, best actor. You have a. I think it's Gillian. Maybe Paul Giamatti because people love the Oscar bait roles,
And he loves taking
and
Oscar
he does
baits.
that as better than almost anybody in Hollywood nowadays.
It's gonna be Cillian Murphy.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
Mhm.
Just for that scene alone, when the Flash, as he's giving the speech.
You think?
It's a good scene.
I was gonna say just because of like his actual physical.
Actually, he
transformation.
also lost weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Oscars like it when you make changes, and he made some changes.
Best actress. I think it's between Emma or Lily.
So
Though I've been hearing a lot of things about Carey Mulligan online.
Oh,
Maestro. But I don't know. That just screams that one Bryan Cranston movie that about the writer that was under the pen name.
Trumbo?
Yeah. That's what Maestro screams to me. Because I think it's about 50s and like some older.
It's about Leonard Bernstein. He's a composer.
Yeah, there's some, like just older people that.
He's only one of the most well-recognized composers in film history.
Sorry, if it's not made.
West Side Story.
If it's not made after. I don't. You okay? Musicals. See, you lost me. I'm very upfront about how much I don't like musicals.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone as well. It's Battle of the Stones.
Yeah.
The 70s are back.
Which one is better?
I mean, I haven't seen Poor Things yet, but
Yeah.
I have heard nothing but fantastic things about Emma Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And she has precedence of having
Yeah,
previous-
that's the thing too that we should note is the Academy loves repeat winners.
Yeah.
Considering that Frances McDormand has won like 17 times. Daniel Day-Lewis I think has won every year straight since like 2010. Who else am I thinking of?
Meryl Streep.
Yeah, Meryl Streep's nominated like every time she makes a movie for some reason. I don't know why. Is that more indicative of Meryl Streep's ability or the fact that there's not a lot of like good roles for women? The fact that Meryl Streep every time she makes a movie she gets nominated. That's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's a discussion for another time. Just gonna soul read it and say Emma Stone.
Cool. Yeah, we're just going off vibes.
Yeah.
We have no. By the way, yeah, we should disclaimer that in the beginning. We're just going off vibes.
Even the movies we have seen, we're just going off the vibes.
If you guys haven't figured out this podcast yet, a lot of it is just vibes. All right, best actor in a supporting role. This one's interesting. No Leo.
No Leo. Yeah.
In a leading role or supporting role. I guess it would be more of a leading role, but.
I mean, he was not really the star of that film.
I mean, first on ESPN. Leo, overrated performance.
I personally would say Robert De Niro in my opinion. Not just because he's also super old, and this is also one of the first good performances I think we've seen out of him in a while. He's taken a few paycheck movies
Yeah.
in the last few years.
Yeah, since his last Martin Scorsese movie.
Because I would
enough.
think.
Do you think they're gonna do like a Martin Robert double feature? Like, thank you guys for the past 50 years of your lives.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
I can see it.
with both. So if Mark Ruffalo wasn't nominated, I think it could go to Robert Downey Jr. Just to be like a hey, good job getting out of Marvel, you know. But since both of them are there, they can't split that.
They can't split the
I
award.
did both ways. So
Yeah.
I think De Niro is the shoe-in, in my opinion.
Okay.
Unless you obviously are going to go with... I mean, you think Oppenheimer's going to sweep every category.
No. I said it. It's only gonna win like 6 or 7.
Will that be one of the 6 or 7?
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know. There's just something weird about De Niro that like we've seen him play an evil character, but for him to be like that demented and evil, it's like it just makes you feel uneasy as a performance, not as like I don't like you, De Niro.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, he's just Robert. He's one of those guys where he's just himself in every role. Like I see him no matter what. In my opinion.
I didn't see him in this movie.
Really?
Yeah,
I did.
I think he.
I saw Tony Stark.
I think the age, De Niro or Downey Jr.
Downey Jr.
Oh, I was talking about De Niro. Okay.
Look, they both start. Their names are too similar. I mixed them up.
So one of them needs to change their names.
Robert Downey Jr.
Downey Jr. No, I think he was. I mean, because Tony Stark's so charismatic and like.
It's just the way he talks, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
But De Niro, he's gonna win, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, actress in a supporting role, American Ferrero.
Is that your answer?
I'm locking it in.
Alright, I'm still going Emily Blunt. I liked her.
They did it with Laura Dern 2 years or 4 years ago. They're gonna do it here.
Alright.
Laura Dern had the same thing where she gave the speech of Marriage Story. It's the same exact speech that American Ferrero had. I'm going with American Ferrero. America Ferrero. I keep calling her American. Alright, writing, adapted screenplay. It's gotta be Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah.
How do you adapt this 800-page autobiography and
Yeah.
make it fun?
If
About
you,
a nuclear physicist.
You know what you do is you make it fun for yourself to write. And you have 2 different tenses. Right?
Yeah.
Third
I use
person,
the Oppenheimer.
and first person.
Original screenplay, do you have any?
So,
I think if it is going to be one, it's going to be The Holdovers because that just screams Oscar bait or Maestro.
I haven't seen them, so I can't really say off the top of my head.
But yeah, like I said, I'm just going on vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't cared enough of it. Super duper good.
Alright, here's the one that'll be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Animated.
Animated.
Which one?
I want Across the Spider-Verse to win.
But
I think either Elemental or Boy and the Heron. I would slide with Boy and the Heron.
yeah,
Um,
I think. Here's what I think.
what do you think?
I think they're gonna say Spider-Man. You had the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna give you the second one because we're gonna Return of the King you in the third
And the
one.
third one.
In the
And
third
that one sweeps 11 categories. Yeah.
That one comes back and it's nominated. It's groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It's nominated for everything, and it just wins.
I do want to say though.
Haley Steinfeld for Best Actress.
Elemental only 3D movie animated or nominated.
Are we going back?
We're going back.
Nice.
We're going back.
I like it. I like
Although
it.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has 3D and 2D.
Yeah.
But I want Across the Spider-Verse to win just as a fan. I think.
Yeah. That's fair.
Obviously, Hayao Miyazaki and Pixar. That's basically the Scorsese, Nolan of animation right
You're
there.
playing for third.
Yeah.
Documentary? Do you have an opinion on documentaries?
Not a single one.
International feature film. This is your forte.
It usually is, but I looked at the list and I said,
Don't know any of those?
Don't know.
Society of the Snow, I believe, is on Netflix.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay.
It's about some people who crash land in the Alps, I think.
Oh, that's based off a true story of
Yes.
some people who got lost. Yes, I
Correct.
know the story. But I have not seen the movie.
Looks interesting. Don't know if I'd watch it.
Perfect Days is directed by Wim Wenders, who is German, and he is a great director in my opinion. He
That's
also
the one we
did,
saw
Paris,
trailers
Texas.
for in
Yeah.
front of
It was one with the
and in Godzilla.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
aspect ratio to it.
Looks fun. Looks like a fun movie.
Looks like a fun movie.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it's Wim Wenders, I feel like that could also be another legacy nomination. That guy's been around forever.
Yeah.
But I mean, Zone of Interest is there too. And that's also as a best picture nomination anyway. So they could Parasite it. You know.
Just take it all.
Yeah.
Animated shorts. Do you know anything about shorts? How do you watch shorts? You just people have their
The
Vimeo
only
link.
thing I know is that if Don Hertzfeld is not nominated for animated shorts, I do not watch any animated shorts. He is the
Cinematography.
person I care about. Okay, cinematography.
Let's get to the fun stuff.
What do we have nominated there?
El Conde, Killers, Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Maestro, Poor Things.
Okay, so not Maestro.
Some pretty cool scenic landscapes of New Mexico and Oklahoma.
That's true. However, I mean, so El Conde, directed by Pablo Larraín, I believe his last name is pronounced, in terrible American pronunciation. Every single movie I've ever seen from that man has just like the best cinematography ever. So it's understandable why he's nominated. But going up against both Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon, I think is pretty rough. Was Killers shot in IMAX?
I don't know. I think so. I'll look that up.
Okay.
Keep going.
Because if not, then Oppenheimer. I think just no matter what, bringing back IMAX, it has to be something I think that they love to see.
Yeah, I think it was shot in IMAX.
Okay. I'm still gonna
Released
go
in
with
IMAX.
Oppenheimer though, just because. I mean, it's a movie about explosions. Light is built into that concept. That is cinematography. Maybe Poor Things
Maybe.
over Killers of the Flower Moon, in my opinion. But
Maybe.
I think Oppenheimer is most likely.
Here's one we can talk about because we've seen 4 of these movies.
Mhm.
Costume design. Barbie, Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. It's gotta be Barbie, right?
Yeah, it has to be Barbie.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you not?
Napoleon would be my close second.
I was gonna say. Yeah, I could see Napoleon.
Just because, you know.
We have never seen that era of French
Mhm.
on the big screen. Alright,
But Barbie has to win it.
Yeah, should. Makeup and hairstyling.
What do we have?
Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Society of the Snow. Oppenheimer has a lot of 40s hairdos.
Yeah, but that's the only one I've seen out of those, so I can't really give enough. I mean, I can't soul read it. I don't know. I can't say. You know. I would like to say.
Original song is I'm Just Can't Gonna Win. Or is it going to What Was I Made For?
It's going to what?
I think
was
it's going to
made
go
for.
What Was I Made For. Yeah, it's Billie Eilish.
Mhm.
You gotta give her her moment.
Did she win for the James Bond song?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
I
either.
hope not. That song sucked.
Should have been Radiohead.
Yeah, that song was bad. Alright, original score. It's Indiana Jones, right?
Indiana Jones.
No, it's Oppenheimer. When Vox does a deconstruct on your score
You
about
win.
how it feeds into the main narrative, I think that just shoes you in.
All right.
But I will say,
All
Flower
right.
Moon has some really cool stuff with the
Yes.
fact that it's all original composition,
Mhm.
which is a very, very not a staple
Mhm.
of Martin Scorsese. I think it's very impressive what was done by Robbie Robertson.
It's mostly just like guitar too, right?
It's like a guitar, a lot of like low drums.
Mhm.
There's a lot of Native American, not necessarily like music, but there's roots of it that are
Mhm.
incorporated in the score, from what I remember.
Oppenheimer.
But that being said, it's Oppenheimer. Production design: Barbie, Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things.
Has to be Barbie.
Yeah, probably. It has to be.
I
When you literally cause a worldwide shortage of
Of
pink.
That's That's true. I remember.
You have to win something.
I feel like honestly, I could see Barbie sweeping a lot of the production.
As it
stuff.
should, because it is very technically.
Mhm.
I don't want to say technically, but like set building wise,
Yeah.
it's impressive what they
Mhm.
did. Very impressive. To make something look like
Toys.
a toy world, yeah.
Mhm.
The way like it's kind of similar to how the Lord of the Rings trilogy did their weird composition slash framing
Yeah.
slash world building, where they like designed the sets to look small or big or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Same
Different
exact
scales.
concepts
Yeah.
were coming in Barbie, so I think that's very impressive. I would go with Barbie. Editing, Oppenheimer. Sound,
Easy enough.
the creator,
Mm-hmm.
Maestro, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Zone of Interest.
So Maestro is about a conductor,
Yeah.
and music is almost always a
Music in
guarantee
one
win.
movies.
So I mean, just going based off of what I've seen before, I would say Maestro. But then again, Nolan also recreated the sound of a nuclear explosion, so good chance that that would be it's a good second pick.
Visual effects. Good creator, Godzilla, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Impossible, Napoleon. I think it's gonna be the creator just because of the kid with the thing in their ear. That's crazy. That looks so cool.
I mean,
And it doesn't look bad. They thought, well, alright, let's just. We're basing it off of the trailers.
So
What?
first off,
It looks cool.
when one of the main draws of seeing a Tom Cruise movie is the fact that he does his own stunts.
That too.
Nominating that for best visual effects feels kind of like a,
There's no practical effects category.
yeah. Well, not at the Oscars at least.
Yeah.
There's no stunt actor category, which Tom Cruise would sweep every year.
That is, yeah. Maybe that's why they don't do it, because it'd literally just
Yeah,
be
just
him
be
and Jackie Chan.
And Keanu Reeves, those three. I want Godzilla -1 just because I love it so much, but it has to be the creator because that is, I mean, Gareth Edwards and Neil Blomkamp are just, those two guys are just fighting for like, oh, and James Cameron as well. Those guys are just fighting for motion capture, so that stuff is insane in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it looks really, really impressive.
I've heard the movie was ass, but nevertheless, I still think that.
Yeah. I've also heard that.
You don't have to have a good story in order to get the best visual
Nah,
effects
yeah.
nomination.
Listen, you just have to just win one award. You're an Oscar-winning
Yeah.
award. You're an Oscar-winning film.
I mean, I am a little disappointed that his G2 movie, Neil Blomkamp's the Gran Turismo,
Gran Turismo.
wasn't nominated.
It's not that
So,
impressive.
I mean,
Visually.
nevertheless.
Visually.
And then,
Yeah, that's all the awards.
okay.
All the, should be fun. You gonna watch them? You gonna watch them this year?
If I have that day off work, then I will.
What day is it?
It should be March 10th.
It's March 10th. It's around the same time every year, huh? So let's say March 10th, nice. The Dolby Theater. Jimmy Kimmel's host, do you have an opinion on that? 4-time?
I mute the TV when they aren't reading the nominations.
Did you ever did you watch the, was it the Golden Globes where the Filipino guy, the Filipino comedian went on and
No.
just tanked?
No.
He was like the 15th person that they wanted to host. Because they couldn't find a host for the Golden Globes apparently.
That's interesting.
So he was like,
Was that this year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Happened like 3 weeks ago.
I did not watch.
It's pretty
a
bad. I
single
watched
thing
his
from it.
monologue. It's rough.
No Ricky Gervais.
It's rough. Like nobody's laughing. It's bad. It's embarrassing. I feel bad for the guy. No, I really don't, because then he went on and was like, "Oh, it was the writers." Nah, dude. That's all you then.
Wow. No, I don't watch the Golden Globes at all.
Just go to no host. I don't know why we do this.
Just have AI do it now.
Just have a hologram of like Alfred Hitchcock or
Yeah.
something. Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Just
Billy
do that.
Crystal.
Just do that. Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
Billy Joel even. I'll take Billy Joel.
Billie Eilish. All three of them hosting at once.
The 3 Billies.
Billy Joel Armstrong, Green Day provides the soundtrack.
Yeah, four of them.
Yeah. Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay, now we're getting too far. We're starting to delve too far into the Billies.
Every year we talk about Oscars, declining viewership. What does it even mean? Is it even meaningful to be nominated or to win?
Yeah.
I mean, culturally, no one cares any more or less. If Barbie doesn't win Best Picture, there will be just as many people online complaining about it as there would be for Greta not getting nominated.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think the Academy just needs to really, put their foot down and say, look,
Figure out what they want to do.
This is our criteria. This is what we nominate along. This is how we determine stuff. We will never again explain to you why we did or did not nominate these people. Just know it. Figure it out for yourselves with the criteria that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's annoying when people want the Oscars to care and they so easily resist that.
You mean the Oscars?
Yeah,
Oscars,
when the Oscars resist that, where they're like, we're not going to listen to you guys. We're not going to give you what you want. Do we do it because we want to be artsy and fancy and special and show you things you've never seen before? Or do we do it because,
we need to put on
we
a show.
actually have a reason for doing it and we have to put on a show and we have a time limit and blah, 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 So, and
It's just weird because for so long, you look at the Oscar noms of every year up until I would say 2012-ish. I just threw that number out. It's around that time period where we just stopped doing, if you looked at the noms pre-2012, mostly, not every year, but mostly every nominated movie was a hit movie of that year. And it just feels like for whatever reason the 2010s they went away from that up until 2019, which I think was the last good year of the Oscars because that was Tarantino, that was Parasite, that was 1917, that was The Irishman, all these big names. Now it's the whole 2010s, other than a year or two, it was just you're nominating movies like Lion that 5 people watched. Not to say those are bad movies, but it's at some point we need to figure out if these still matter.
should they make?
And they should still matter. I feel like they should still matter because there needs to be some kind of defining thing. Not that awards are the end all be all, right? Because a lot of our favorite movies have never even been invited to the Oscars.
Yeah.
But you should have some kind of label attached to it where it's this is the gold standard of movie making, and these are the gold standards of that year. Is the way I look at it.
Do you think that they should then make Best Picture 5 nominees again? Cut the fat out?
Yeah. I mean, the only reason they did it was because The Dark Knight wasn't nominated. And then they were all right, let's nominate 6 other movies that aren't worth it. So, especially when the Best Director noms, when every other category is only 5, for some reason Best Picture is 10. It's just why?
Just so the producers get their names.
Yeah, I
with
guess.
the Oscar-nominated producer on it.
I don't know. It's silly to me. I think that change is silly.
I mean,
there will be good. I'd rather the lists be so selective that the 6, 7, 8 movies of the year aren't selected than it be so open that the 6, 7, 8 movies nobody's heard of.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that if they wanted to move in a direction where they are picking independent films or unique house, however you want to define the A24 stuff, then they should expand the other categories to include more than 5 people.
Yeah.
So that way every category now has
Yeah.
multiple nominations outside of 5. Whether it's 6, 7, or even 10 in every category, maybe. I don't know. Really just make it a 5-hour long awards show.
Which is also what they should do, because it's like, why are we writing these people off? Like, this is what a lot of people have worked their entire lives for, to be here, and you're only giving them 30 seconds to thank everybody. Like, my least favorite part was the fact that they went and they made all the below the line categories during commercial breaks, but then they still air them during the broadcast. It's like, what's the point of that then? And just have them do it live on television.
Yeah.
That way we get a live reaction and seeing them freak out. You know, it's like, this isn't the Super Bowl, man. Like, this is
just, and I will make this argument every year for the rest of my life. Walk on stage, say the nominees are, and then read the nominations, let them talk, and then move on with the next category. I don't want
Just
any
give 'em a
comedian in between.
Yeah.
I don't want any song sung in
Amy
between.
Schumer in a Spider-Man costume. No, we don't need that.
Yeah, I don't need anyone to do anything else but read the list of nominations.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
And then you can make it 10 per category because you have so much free time now.
I don't know why the entertainment is us watching our favorite movies
Yeah.
be recognized.
We've already been entertained. We've watched these movies.
That is our entertainment. Is we don't want to see Kevin Hart jump through a building.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. We don't want to. That didn't
Did you do
happen.
that one yet?
That didn't happen, but that'd be cool.
Never mind. We want to see
Wait,
it.
actually, I kind of. Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I have something for when I want to be entertained, and I want, if I'm watching the Oscars, first off, I'm not like sitting there in front of a television with like popcorn and beer, like I'm watching, you know, Texas Longhorns. It's like, you know.
They should do it Nobel Prize style, where it's 2 shows. The first one, they announce all the winners, and the second one, everyone gives their speech.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be interesting. You know,
Then you would have to have people come.
They'd all have to fly in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to make people stay.
Well, then we only have to listen to the people who really matter.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a revamp of something, because.
And it's not
Like, make the Golden Globes fun, make the Critics' Choice fun, make the
Yeah.
People's Choice fun, like that's fun, whatever. The MTV Awards, whatever.
yeah, the ones that really matter.
But like the Emmy and Oscars and the Nickelodeon Award, let's keep those serious, alright?
The ESPYs.
Those are what I come for.
Yeah.
Those are the golden standards in my book. Anyways, rant over. Put the soapbox away till next week.
We make this rant every year during
Yeah.
the Oscars, and yet we still watch it. We still talk about the nominees and who we think is going to win. Maybe we need
It
to
is
put
fun.
our foot down.
It is fun to talk about.
Well, yeah, it's fun to talk about because we've seen these movies.
Yeah.
So, maybe we should host. Petition that.
We should throw out I mean, there's like millions of stupid change.org petitions. We should just do that.
Dude, do you remember one year, I think it was Chris Rock who was hosting.
When he said the Oscars are racist.
Not that, but he went out in public and he interviewed people to be like, have you seen these movies? And it was every film that was nominated for Best Picture. Like, he went to a movie theater and he's like, what are you guys watching? And not a single people named the movie that was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Are the kids out of touch?
It's like,
No.
Yeah.
Or am I out of touch? No, it's the kids who are.
And it's like... And then there was one person who said that they were watching like the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, like, co-produced movie or something like that during that time. I just randomly remember that bit. The point being, as fans of film, we believe the Oscars needs a revamp.
Yeah.
And we don't know what they're going to do ahead of time. We don't know whether they will have listened to the people and our advice.
Somebody post this URL to the Dolby Theater on March 10th, please.
Yes.
So they can finally listen to us.
Turns out they're all really huge fans of Hit Play Podcast.
They watch it on incognito mode so we don't get the views. That's what I tell myself.
So, I'll do my best to not be a part of that declining viewership, but they make it really easy to
Yeah, it's a frustrating battle with oneself. But anyways, that's us.
Or turn it into a film festival.
You lost me.
Okay.
You lost me.
Okay. 2 art house, 2 indie.
You lost me. Alright, we're out of here. Next week we're going back to Denny, our boy, with the 3 bangers.
Oh yeah.
arguably, little tease for you guys. I got a question for you, James. The greatest 5-movie stretch of a director. Yes or no? We'll answer that next week. See you guys later.